go to a con, get my geeky freak on. I like the parties, but I don't like the bathtub beer. If there's a fan, I'll chat, cause I can handle that. I like to
Hey, this is Ross Bain of Roll Playing Public Radio. This is RPPR episode 91, Gen Con 2013 Wrap-Up. And with me, as always, is Mr. Top Church, but also we have Caleb and Aaron to talk about our
because we all traveled there.
Yes, we all did.
We totally did. And also last year we said, we said this may be our last Gen Con last year.
We did?
2012. Guess what?
Mine Apocalypse.
Fuck you, Apocalypse.
Unless we're all dead and we don't even realize it. In which case, it's the best.
Best thing ever.
You would listen
Necro
to Night Vale.
Yeah.
Ross Bain.
So,
Yeah, we have
how do I know I'm real?
I don't want to know this is Necrocon or Pretendicon.
Yes, we have jumped on the Welcome to Night Vale bandwagon, and
I've signed up to their mailing list. I even donated.
That's very good. I bought a T-shirt because that is how I should.
And they have new bumper stickers now.
And like, you can't wear a T-shirt of your own podcast. It's like a band. Like if you wear a different podcast.
Yeah, as I said in the movie PCU, like you're wearing the band of the concert to the concert. Don't be that guy.
Yeah. So anyway, first off, we have a bit of news before we get into everything that happened at Gen Con. First off, Base Raiders PDF. I finished the main content of the book. Thank you, Aaron, for that support. The main, I'm just now proofreading it and doing a couple last things, like designing the character sheet. That might be useful. So my goal is to get the PDF out to backers on September 10th, in and around that time. So that maybe one day.
Notice he didn't say year.
Yeah, thanks, Caleb.
September 10th.
Thanks, Caleb. Thanks for that show of support. So the PDF will be, once I get the PDF out to you guys, then I'll send it out to the printer, and then it's just a matter of mailing and
time.
Yes,
so much time.
Thanks. So. Because I want to get started on the next Kickstarter, which will be called Tabletop Trophies, and I'll have more of that in the next episode, but just be teased and want things and save money for that.
Get those wallets ready.
Yeah, get those wallets ready.
You're about to cough up some more to your masters.
Buy his stuff.
Buy my stuff, thank you. Anyway, Caleb, you have some other RPPR-related news.
So I spent the majority of my Gen Con recording interviews with different game developers. Because Ross and I are going to spin off another podcast called Game Designers Workshop. So I am working on the first independent, self-contained setting and system of Heaven on Games, and I'm calling it Red Markets. And the goal is for the podcast to be educational. So rather than watch me go through the whole process in no transparency at all and then kind of abstract it at the end, you can watch me screw up in real time. And so we already did the concept episode. Yeah. We'll try and post that soon. And then I did interviews with, I did like 20 hours of interviews. It was nuts. With all sorts of people who have been way more experienced in the industry than I am, talking to them about it. And so it should be kind of entertaining for those of you that are interested in writing your own games.
Glancy gave me some advice on that.
Yeah.
He actually said, first thing you need to know is there is no industry.
Yes.
He's like, he said, who do you think as like a giant of the industry, like Wizards of the Coast? You think they're the giants? They're like a dozen guys in one office.
Detweiler said that exact same thing, and that he, is insanely wealthy.
Now it's a spin. This will actually be on the RPPR podcast feed. I'll create a separate page on the RPPR site for it.
It's still RPPR. It just has a.
So this will be a monthly thing. I'll get the concept up in a week or two, and we'll just do a monthly thing after that.
Nice.
So,
and I'll be honest, like the insult dog, trying to bring you down.
Okay, well, I think the vagaries of game design itself will do that job.
Yes, they will.
But I need to make you cry.
Watch me fail.
Well, no, that's what literally the internet's for. They will have the hordes of Reddit and 4chan covering over it like ticks on a dog.
But anyway, in Game Designers Workshop is about complete transparency. So one of the things that's going to slow me up and screw me up is that I got good fortune at Gen Con. So I'm going to be writing the first campaign book for Better Angels. And I am working on that draft now. So we'll definitely slow down the design of the game.
Literally, as we speak, he is working on it right now.
I think that deserves the golf clap. So.
Yeah. So yes, it was very good.
And that is a campaign for Better Angels.
Yes, it is a campaign.
We are playtesting it.
We are playtesting it right now.
Recording it, so that will come up at some point
tonight. Actually.
Yeah. Well, the podcast will not come up tonight. It will be far in the future. I'm a monster, as you are.
It will probably be released.
The Neuromancers Wandering the Waste will speak highly
The campaign will
of the
probably
new
be
podcast.
released closer to the Kickstarter of the actual book.
Yeah.
But
Well,
So
that's through Arc Dream, so...
we realize that we have many hours of chivalry to go through, so we have to prioritize.
There are the breaks in silver.
I finally found that Mortal Kombat arcade controller,
Okay,
so I can
great.
do that shit.
Great. Yeah, and also Heaven on Games. As we're going to go into done with the news. For the Heaven on Games post on Gen Con, you can take a look at that at heavenongames.com. We'll have a link to that in the show notes, so you can get some of Caleb's perspective on it. But yeah, let's talk about Gen Con. So overall, let's just go around the table and give like a broad perspective. For me, I spent most of my time. I ran 2 games. I recorded some interviews and panels for both RPPR and the Unspeakable Oath, and then the RPPR meetup, of course. So that consumed the majority of my time. Tom, what about you?
Mine was mainly spent roaming the dealer room, looking for what new stuff's up there, staring in utter fascination at the Palladium booth.
Horrid fascination, or just
morbid fascination, I should say.
Insert bad adjective here.
Like
Lovecraftian fiction.
Like
Squamous was in there.
I talked to Adam Scott Glancy a lot on war and awesome scenarios, and he's gonna run the Divine Fire Libya thing at the whatever the convention Necronomicon this year.
Yes, I saw that on Facebook. That's cool. And Aaron?
Mine was a little bit different this year. Unfortunately, I didn't end up running any games because I was willing to take a break from that. Next year, I probably will do some. I know for the podcast.
By the way,
but mine.
Legacy of Nimbus Grimdark.
We've already been over that, so
it needs to be said.
We'll say that. Another argument for another day. Anyway, my activities actually were a little bit different this time. I ended up assembling a costume and kind of exploring the cosplaying aspect of it, which I only did 1 year before. I think it was my second year, but it was just kind of slapping something together for the parade. This year I actually took the initiative of creating a Proto-Man outfit from the Proto-Man band, so their variant of that, which I learned not a lot of people noticed that. I was actually identified as the Red Ranger half the time when somebody looked at me.
I could see that.
That was the majority of it. Though before we get into anything, I do actually want to give one shout out to the Gen Con staff, because I had a potential crisis issue going into this. The post office saw fit to send me my receipt, but not my badge.
In an unsealed envelope.
So I was in mid-panic over that, but thankfully, going to customer service, their first line was, "God, I hate the Postal Service. Here you go, have a good con." So you have gotten somebody to come back regardless.
All right.
So thank you.
Go Gen Con staff!
Building up some karma for the next year when they set everyone on fire.
Exactly.
As is to be expected.
We didn't know our badges would combust like that. Anyway.
Well, they're in the plastic, so yeah.
Good night, Gen Con.
And then Caleb, you mentioned a little bit about this, but
it was a good con. I did a ton of interviews for RPPR and Game Design Workshop. Basically, anybody I found, we did 2 interviews.
Yeah.
And that took up a lot of time. I ended up running a Better Angels game because the original GM had a work emergency, so I covered for Arc Dream. And that was very fun. Wandered on the dealer's floor. I don't know. General impressions. I've never seen so many people in one place be so well behaved. Like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying the gamer community is not without its faults, but it's kind of like
I'll actually notice like in the halls, like it was crowded, but people actually let you buy.
And it wasn't filthy.
Yeah.
Except for the people.
Mm-hmm.
And
some of them were filthy, but like you don't go to a baseball game or anything like that, which is like the only equivalent, and see people. So I was alarmed at the politeness, and then people recognized me, and that was bizarre. Like I was grateful, and I enjoyed the conversation, but I was just like,
I wore the shirt you got
for
me.
reals. Oh yeah,
I got a few comments on that.
Yeah, there's actually something that I encountered as well. I was at another booth looking at something at the Bandy Jewelry, I think. And some guy turned to me and said, "You're Aaron, aren't you?" It's like, "Oh, yeah, hi, I guess you just saw my badge." "No, I heard your voice. It's like I immediately recognized you," which I didn't know how to take that. And the funny thing is, Yeah,
I think it's happened to all of us at least.
Yeah, the funny thing is that the meetup when we had a couple of new people in there, that was actually repeated. People were not talking to each other. That was just repeated immediately. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, I should clarify. It's nothing bad. I really enjoyed meeting and talking to all those people. It's just kind of like never saw that coming.
Yeah. No, it is a weird experience the first time it happens. First couple times, it's still hey, cool, thanks. So yeah, there were a couple of shared experiences we all had. Like I mentioned before, we all listened to Night Vale or Welcome to Night Vale on the way up. And
that's my new favorite podcast.
I remember Caleb was like, "This better be good, Peyton." You know,
you did build it up for months,
for weeks, for
months.
Yeah,
about,
and I was right.
You were absolutely right.
We listened to 22 episodes, the first 22 episodes all the way up and down. Like it was just quite a few episodes. And then we had a couple of shared Wednesday night. Scott Glancy ran a game for us that was recorded 5 hours of 1919
Armored Train,
Armored Train, Siberian, Manchurian, Chaos,
Chernobog.
Well, don't spoil it for them.
we started playing in hour 3.
Yeah, we started rolling. The first dice was rolled about an hour and a half in. All right, I took note.
Because that's what you do. We've been through a lot of these games.
So we just need to actually have a timer.
We did. That's what we did.
Well, I know what we need to do next time we're in the Glancy game. Yeah. Have the timer going. The minute the first roll goes up, we need to have party poppers and horns and New Year's scratches.
He will hear this.
Exactly.
That's because Adam Scott Glancy is brilliant and the best.
We love it, but we need to get him hell about it. Because
I learned more about Manchuria than I ever did.
We did the same thing with our first
history courses. I took for credit.
Like, we did when we did the Zeppelin game. I learned more about Zeppelins in World War I than I would have learned in a college class about Zeppelins in World War I.
So that was a shared experience. We also, and then the other shared thing we all did was the RPPR meetup. Which Friday night
they get better every year.
They do. We got some really good. I do want to mention some of our listeners are podcasters themselves. I don't remember everyone. I do remember the Critically Dry podcast, which is an in-joke from making a GURPS survival check really well. Like, this tent is critically dry, apparently. Which they don't have a website up yet, but they are on iTunes. I want to say hey to you guys.
Welcome to the war.
And
I'd like to plug Fistful of Misanthropes. They've done actual plays of all of the Hebanon games titles.
Yeah.
And it is fun to watch them fight and die. Their version of Revelations might be my favorite I've heard so far, because by the end of it, they just held up in the police station and waited for the end to come.
All right. So, why don't we first get... Of course, this is all good and fine, what we did and everything. But the real question is, of course, for our listeners, what loot did we get? Because that's the real goal of Gen Con.
Swag, whoop, rapport.
Is loot.
And I will say, like, when it comes to my stuff, almost all of it came from the Green Ronin table.
Right.
I picked up every book in 3rd edition Mutants and Masterminds. I first picked up the main book.
Right.
That was day one. Read it, through it, and by the time I was finished, the next day I bought more books. And then I read those. And the day after that, I went and bought the rest of them. And each time I got a Green Ronin 20-sided die.
Nice.
With my purchase. So I now have 3 of them.
Great, and I know one little mention Tom and I talked about this. You know, we previously a couple episodes ago we talked about 2 old RPG adventures, compared and contrast them. You know, Zombie Town USA,
yes,
and things all fall down. So we're going to do
Auto Duel.
We're going to do an update to that with contemporary scenarios, or like by contemporary I mean written in the last year or so. So we're going to do a Trail of Cthulhu adventure written about the Titanic. From Out of Space,
which I read,
which you read. I haven't yet, so I can't run it for you guys, or at least for you. And you mentioned Mutants Mastermind.
Yeah, there's scenarios in several of the books. I'm going to choose one of them.
So that will be a future episode down the line in the next couple months. As we'll do that. So see how scenario.
Which one has Auto Duel?
I don't think either of them does. I think this is.
Yeah.
I refuse to play.
Because
I want Auto Duel on my team.
I know. We already talked. I can't get over how little that title of Zombie Town USA actually happened.
I know.
Jesus.
You guys should listen to that episode. It was pretty fun.
It was totally great. We were totally great.
So, Aaron, any big pickups?
Let's more personal. This one, I'm actually going to say I was the delinquent one and not purchasing stuff since my funds were minimal this
fine,
year.
yeah.
Like the main thing I did, I did pay into the Kickstarter for Transhuman. Obviously, since we have two writers here and also we're playing in it.
And the fact that the RPPR group is mentioned in the motherfucking
And of
credits.
course, I had to see the pig tits for myself, as always.
We had a lengthy discussion about pig.
Yeah, pig tits.
Both on the write-up and human people.
Which, okay, I will have to do...
It's a lightning rod issue.
I'm going to do a slight digression in this case. I actually saw it beforehand because I got the PDF link. Had I not known those were supposed to be breast, I was just taking those as pieces of deployable
Or space pouches.
armor.
Or
Space pouches.
Space
pouches.
Yeah.
I don't think
Your
they're
space
nipples.
pouches have nipples.
Were nipples showing through it? Okay, but
I mean, it's kind of Madonna-esque, but they're not
again,
like...
I wouldn't have taken it as that.
It's post-humanity, man.
But yeah, in any case, no, my actual purchases were a little more personal on this one. I ended up finding, I want to say the place was called Bandy Jewelry. They do kind of fantasy stuff, and for anybody who's read The Wheel of Time, they actually have the Ashaman pins for the gold dragon and the silver pin. So
From the Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time series.
Yeah.
So if you're like one of the male channelers, that's what they designated you as. So so I ended up buying that because I was a dork on that one, and I think the only major other things I got were the 2 later color releases for Scott Pilgrim, since they're putting those out in hardback edition, and a $5 Doctor Who novel that was...
Didn't you get an autograph?
Yes, actually I did, and Thad is to thank for this one. So
Thad showed up for Saturday.
Yes, Thad showed up.
But he was not there for the meetup.
So, but yeah, we spent... Thad and I wandered around Sunday before we had to go, and he actually pointed me towards the line where I was able to meet and talk to Peter Davison, the 5th Doctor. So he graciously talked to me, took my fanboyism, took a picture with me, which I'll try to post at some point.
Sure.
And he'll let me on about my way. Also, actually, I take back in the line, if any of you have watched the show Eureka, I got to talk to Neil Gregston, who played Fargo on that series. Very nice guy, and also took our little anecdote about one of the characters who was actually in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, dying and then reappearing on Eureka mysteriously.
Miles Dyson.
Who played Miles Dyson. So
fair enough.
being a dork in front of other friends' dorks.
Caleb, you had some blackouts related to purchasing.
Well, I got some stuff for free. I got some review copies, which was very nice. And then I had Hillfolk, Transhuman, and Better Angels, and Sinner all from Kickstarter. Contributor copies and reviews.
Was there anyone related to us that didn't get Transhuman? I think we all did.
I went to the Independent Game Designers Network, and those guys are pretty cool. They not only read each other's work and do a workshop, they pool their money to have a single booth and sell all their stuff, which I think is a pretty cool game and business model. So I got Spark and Our Last Best Hope, Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, Spark. Our Last Best Hope is about apocalypse movies, and that.
Yeah, it's about Armageddon, Sunshine.
So what's Call of Cthulhu is called Cthulhu, but with cats.
Yes, cats are trying to protect humans from the Cthulhu mythos because humans make life comfy.
Yes. So what about
those
Spark?
Spark is about self-generating setting. There's no. It's about coming up with a world with strict social norms and then beliefs for your characters in that norm, and then the main mechanic is you have to challenge your character's beliefs. So there's a bunch of different settings included in the book, but it's mainly about having those deeply set beliefs being your character, and then only being able to move the story forward by challenging that and either confirming or changing them. So
interesting.
Yes, they're very much into the narrativist school of game design and that stuff. I went to Pelgrane and I talked to Kenneth Haidt to ask for an interview, and 5 minutes later he convinced me to buy 4 books for a total of $95. Damn your silver devil tongue. I got Double Tap for Nice Black Agents, even though we're probably not going to play that game again because we already campaigned. I own the book for no reason at all. Esoterists, second edition,
which just came out.
Which is a very pretty book. I'm glad I got that. I got... What else did I get? Final Revelation, which I have read one of those before. They're Purist Trail of Cthulhu adventures.
Yeah.
I have not had a chance to read them yet, but I've read Watchers in the Sky, which is in there, and they are brutal and terrifying.
And you're gonna run them.
And I might run them. Yeah.
Yes. I got Esoterrorist second edition as well. The main thing is the mechanics are almost entirely identical. The initiative rules have changed, but the main thing is it adds a lot more setting material to it. So again, the Esoterrorists basically. The esoterists are bad guys who want to make magic real, and this is like evil, dark magic. The only magic that they actually have is they can summon horrible monsters.
And these aren't Lovecraftian. They're more like Clive Barker.
Yeah,
stuff.
they're very Clive Barker.
Yeah, If you're not familiar with esoterists, if you thought Viamonte was bad,
Yeah.
like it's nothing but those fucking things. Really creepy body horror shit from front to back.
So basically, you're a group of people who like, hey, we don't want monsters and magic to be real. Let's kill those terrorists. And so, that's the premise of the setting. So the book, the first edition was very thin and like very minimalist. The second edition goes a lot more into the background and setting up scenarios and has a campaign model in it. Anyway, so that's the main difference between them. If for those of you who are already aware of Esoterics, because we've run games of it before. Although I kind of ignored the setting in most of the ones I've run. So was that it, or any other major?
We both got Since the Sleight of Hand Man.
The Sleight of Hand Man.
It's a very pretty book. And Ross needs to run it soon so I can actually read it.
Yeah. I will figure out a way to do that at some point. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
All right, Cards Against Humanity, I knew I had to get it because, like, the only people who were talking about it were not, like, card game people.
Yeah.
Like, they were just random people I meet in everyday life. And, like, everyone was talking about it. And it is...
Quite amusing.
I think
quite amusing.
Don't we have a favorite card?
There's a bunch of cards.
A couple in particular.
Well, I think we're talking about the game winner card overall.
Well, it is apples to apples, but
it will destroy
as
your
filthy
soul.
as you think you are, they have some pretty inventive.
Yeah.
filth
Should
in
we
those
actually
cards.
tell them the name of the winner?
Don't spoil it for me.
Okay, yeah, that's...
They're good.
But there's like, a couple of cards, like, I don't care what.
Well, they're ranked. They're clearly tiers of cards. There's the God rank, the ones that are just like, you win if you play this card. And then there's ones that, maybe. And there's ones like, you're going to just know.
These are just throwaway cards.
Yeah. Although some of them can be, depending on the context, can be useful. Because I remember playing one card that was just totally normal, but in the context, it was just perfect.
Yeah. Context is everything. Although I do want to point out for what we did, when at least the RPPR meetup, I did buy a copy of Channel 8 myself.
Yeah, Channel 8. Yeah.
Because
I lost my copy. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, so at least we'll have more games with that in the future. But more importantly, when we did the meetup, we actually got Glancy to run a short time before we were run out of the room by some other conference. So we got Adam's got Glancy to MC a game of Channel A of anime.
It was pretty. We didn't record it though.
I know, sorry.
Circumstances, but So I got a bunch of games. Some were review copies. Some were from Kickstarters I backed earlier. Some were just that I bought. So in no particular order, Hackmaster. I got the new edition, both the Player's Guide and the Monster Manual. These are beautiful hardcover books, like a faux dragon skin thing on the. Monster Manual.
They tell you
full
it's
color.
fake.
Well, it's kind of.
You don't know, Ross.
I don't. Unless dragons are made out of plastic, kind of. But anyways, they're beautiful books. I will be running it sometime this fall because I have a soft spot for Hackmaster. Knights of the Dinner Table was the first place I got published in print. It wasn't a PDF thing, so I still read it. So deal with that. Then the Eternal Lies campaign for Trail of Cthulhu. It's a big hardcover campaign that just came out for Trail of Cthulhu. It's got really interesting advice at the beginning, like, hey, you can adapt this, to run in any order, do this, and then there's a fucking soundtrack for it that you can download, and suggestions for when to play what piece of music. Like, when this happens, play this song. And when this happens, play this song.
I'm so glad you got that because I was really torn between that and Final Revelation. So I'm glad we didn't buy the same one.
Yeah. Then Esoteric second edition, I bought. I didn't technically get this at Gen Con, but I realized even though I enjoy Fourth Ed, I ran 50 sessions of it. that I'm not going to be running Fourth Ed campaigns anymore because D&D next is going to be coming out. That'll be the next D&D game. So I traded a bunch of my old books in, picked up a copy of 13th Age in my friendly local game store metagame. So 13th Age, kind of. Let's see here. You got I got Durant's from Indie Press Revolution, which is basically Space Australia. You're a prisoner colonist, and things are bad in Space Australia. It's a
Crikey.
Yeah, and so like the main, like it's a GM-less game, and but every player is a colonist who has a code. Like I swear I will never kill a man, or I'll never lie to someone I trust, or something like that. And so like, how far do you go before you break your oath and that kind of thing? What will you do to survive or to prosper?
I will dominate that game.
It will be interesting to play. I need to finish reading the rules. Since the Sleight of Hand Man, which I plan to run, the Dreamlands Grimdark campaign for Call of Cthulhu, I started reading it. Holy shit, it is pretty grimdark. Just the opening chapter. Then Better Angels, I picked up a copy of that because I ran a couple games for Arc Dream. Hillfolk, back to Kickstarter. I also got Blood on the Snow, which does have terrible, terrible art in it. But it's additional expansion and information for running Hillfolk. So Call of Cthulhu, Transhuman, Outer Space, Trail of Cthulhu adventures, including the Repairer of Reputation, which is one of the Yellow Sign adventures.
And Ross is happy as a little girl.
Man. I had to get that. Just had to.
The Siren Call of Carcass.
Bill, who RPPR member, Bill, who did not go to Jinga, gave me money to get the Ghosts of Dragonspear Castle, an exclusive D&D Next preview adventure, and I flipped through it. It looks pretty interesting. It'll be. I'm hoping he runs it at some point because I'd like to get some more
and
D&D.
Play.
Yeah, so I get a chance to put that on the podcast. Dungeon World, which I don't think.
I got that as well.
Yeah. And Tom has a copy.
I have a homemade copy.
Yeah,
of it.
homemade copy. So we'll definitely be playing that. I know people.
Homemade?
Yeah, it was actually
Like,
my friend.
printed at a
My friend
coffee shop.
Andy actually knows the people that made it
Oh, okay.
in Seattle.
Okay.
Oh, just the print copy.
It's a hack of Apocalypse World,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the reasons that I never bought Apocalypse World is because the only way you can order a physical copy of it is through the guy who makes it, and apparently he's just like, I'll ship a copy whenever I remember to do that. Like he doesn't put it up on Amazon or any other place, so you can't just.
Seems kind of like a flawed business model.
It does. It may do that, but anyway, you mentioned Center of the Novel. That's and so those are my big gets for the Gen Con. So. Why don't we talk about... So that's our loot. A lot of these games we're going to be trying to run in the next couple months and posting them on RPPR. I might even do some release where I release a bunch of episodes at once. We'll just see, because I want to get these games...
We're not going to make any promises, because...
Ken, according to the RPG Podcast Listener Survey, you guys don't have a preferred system. You guys are rebels. You guys will play whatever, whenever, so...
That's what makes us unique.
Yes, so we will play more systems and more crazy-ass shit. So hooray for that. Why don't we talk... So we sort of...
Other highlights?
Yeah, other highlights, yeah.
Well, I have to do one that's not gaming related.
Okay.
At one point during the con, Glancy's phone, apparently his battery stopped holding a charge. So he had to go get a new one because, he's running a booth, he kind of needs his phone.
Yeah.
But, of course, he has an older phone, so the Verizon store in the mall that's next near the con didn't have one. So he had to go find a Batteries Plus. And since most everyone in his booth flew, he was hoping to try to find someone who had driven, who was working at their booth, but they're working. They were working. So I'll take you. So we ended up using his
SideQuest activated.
SideQuest, yeah. Using his GPS, tried to go out into greater Indianapolis to find the Batteries Plus. His GPS signal led us to an isolated gun store on the outskirts of Indianapolis, which was right next to a liquor store and a thrift shop. And it was
okay, here's the thing. You're talking about like it's a mistake. I think his GPS is like a muse.
Yeah.
Like it knows where Glancy wants to go. He wants to go to an isolated gun store
and liquor store with thrift shop. Like honestly, that's how you start. That's how you equip starting level PCs in modern day. You get your gun, you get your dirty clothes, and you get your booze, and you're ready to go on a murder hobo adventure.
See, that's like the worst. That's like almost like the worst TARDIS. It takes you where you want
Worst
to
TARDIS
go.
or best?
No, because it's one you need to go,
Best
not where you're
TARDIS.
needing to go.
I think
Therefore, the
it's
world
best.
explodes because you're
think
getting
it's best.
stocked up on Jack Daniels and shotgun.
So we were gone for nearly an hour, almost 2 hours,
Right.
trying to find this place. We finally get it. He buys me Popeye's chicken to thank me. It was delicious.
Quest reward, Popeyes.
Hey, Popeye's is fucking good.
All right, fair.
But it was, and the whole time we were literally talking about World War I, World War II,
Yeah.
and the lunacies of the gaming industry.
Yeah.
It was a glorious time.
All right.
As we were both going, like, I was on more of the wedge occasion. We both asked, like, "Is your phone trying to get us raped and killed?" Like, it might very well be.
So gracefully segueing, Aaron, why don't you talk to us about cosplaying?
Oh yeah, that. So
something none of us really know much about.
yeah, so it was something. Yeah, I wanted to go ahead and try for the first, at least for the first time, because of course I'm going to dress up at Halloween at any given moment. But I had never really tried to do a semi-professional costume. So if anybody of our listeners have seen the Proto Man live in concert, the base costume for the commander when he's in Proto Man is the painted helmet, the shirt. It's like that black cowboy button-up shirt, a buster of his own, and then I guess black pants. Well, I knew I wouldn't be able to find that cowboy shirt in time, or it would be too expensive. So I ended up supplanting it with a very distressed leather jacket that I found at a thrift store. My dad actually helped me build the buster arm, construct the buster arm, and then
Was there a gun store near this thrift shop?
So I have no idea. So no, it's Red Rack. So no, it's not going to be a gun shop on there. Although there are very scary people that frequent it very often. So because
Like Macklemore fans, they're fine.
not
It's
Macklemore
fine.
fans all
It's
the time.
fine.
So, but in any case, so yeah, I assembled the costume together. At least the quick amusing story about that, since I did not have a tinted visor, I went ahead and had to use a tinting spray on it, which I realized, whoa, this would be great, until, unfortunately, painter's tape actually took it off. So after getting that together, I managed to figure out a solution. But yeah, the costume was great. I only plan to be in it in a little bit on 2 days because, of course, it's all black leather and pants, and it's hot as hell. And
Doesn't breathe.
No, it doesn't breathe at all. So I figured what I would do on Saturday is go early, register, go back, and then maybe wear the costume for a couple hours during the parade and that. Well, I did not pre-register, and they said the judges had to pre-judge my costume to make sure it was decent enough to get in. So 9:30 in the morning, I trudge on back to the hotel room, put everything else on, go back, and realize it's an hour or two wait before they can even get to me. So I'm wandering the halls before that time, getting pictures with other people, very nice, trying to do it, and sweating my ass off in this thing. So
It's like a sauna.
yeah, it was a sauna. So instead of basically being in there for a couple hours, I was in there for the better part of the day. But the costume parade was interesting. I got to see a lot of different ones. And again, it was interesting the multiples, because I saw multiple Booker DeWitts. I actually was talking to one of the very nice guy who I have his picture that will go up
Good.
when I post everything. For that, saw multiple different versions of Vocaloids. Trying to think of anybody else.
The anime.
The anime singer, saw multiple versions of their characters. Actually saw, going in Power Rangers, I actually saw a T-Rex Zord who was...
I saw that, I saw he was with I saw Red Ranger, he had a sign like, Zord broke, please get help.
Yeah, Zord broke
Like
it.
an out-of-word Power Ranger.
Yeah, and I think it actually helped because I think their costume actually broke just a little bit off to the side, so he's shuffling around with it. So, yeah, the other thing of the cosplay one is that hopefully this will appear later on because I'm going to get a Skype interview with them. But the winners for this year, which was a group who did StarCraft Marine and a Ghost units, actually won the overall competition this year. And lo and behold, one of our listeners, who I will not identify for privacy's sake, actually came with them. So it was kind of a surprise, like, oh, small world, we're just talking to each other in this one. So I didn't get the pictures of them or footage because we just kept missing each other the entire time. Either we were busy with podcast stuff or they were busy at last minute build. So, but hopefully within the next week or so, I will get the interview with them and see if I can get that up on there to get the better perspective on people who actually know what the hell they're doing with costuming, and be a longer perspective of what they've done and the process if anybody else wants to try this, because overall it was a lot of fun. I did get several people who over the con who actually recognized it. During the parade I heard a guy scream "Hope Rides Alone" over it, which was nice, but yeah, most of my reactions were, hey, look, it's the Red Power Ranger.
There's a really good Slender Man costume too.
There were several, so
I saw more than one.
Although for some,
I saw him last year too.
I will
kind of
admit,
an easy costume. Like,
yeah, if you're tall and lanky,
a suit and a white stocking, and you're like, I'm done.
It can do that. I hate to say it though, because I really don't want to denigrate, but the two laziest ones I saw were the Captain America and the Wonder Woman on stilts. Mainly because they took like the cheap store-bought coats, and then they were just on stilts.
Yeah.
So,
did you see those?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them too.
Yeah, so that was...
It was kind of, I thought the Wonder Woman was okay. It's kind of a Linda, like, the
No, it
TV
was.
show.
It's like the costumes aren't bad. Just what's with the stilts?
Yeah, the stilts, kind of a...
They're not really adding it.
Like if you were Uncle Sam, and then you'd be like, no, I'm the DC Uncle Sam from DC Comics.
Yeah, so...
He's getting beat up by a giant, evil, corrupt lobbyist. Like, oh, that would have been a good thing.
Yeah.
Because there was that miniseries. Anyways, I am derailing this. Overall, it was fun.
Yeah, overall, no, and actually,
Getting your photo taken and all that.
Oh yeah, with Peter Davison and all that. Yeah, because I didn't realize the process. I do have like a professional photo. I'll try to scan in that they did for it. But yeah, the last story I'll at least give off of this. Oh, and if you do look on IO9, there was a group of steampunk Ghostbusters who had their own version of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Right.
On IO9, they were fantastic. But in my category that was put in, which was potluck, since they said like, well, you're kind of a media game character, but we don't know where the hell to place you, so shove it in. And of course, they had to put me next to the two most perfect Tenth Doctor and Jack Harkness that ever existed, and they kissed on stage. So of course, they got the award immediately.
Yeah.
But the second place guy was this very nice 50-year-old guy. Had been coming to Gen Con for a couple of years. This was his first costume. It was a handmade Rocketeer outfit, backpack, the helmet, everything. And you could see just the joy in his face when he got the second prize on there, which I thought was awesome.
Cool.
So,
all right.
No, I just was amazed by the full community and the fact that nobody was really denigrating anybody's costume. Thankfully, they were being really nice about it.
Great. So I think probably for a lot of us, there are a lot of highlights for this Gen Con. There's just so many good things going on, but some of the it wasn't perfect. Like there were some kind of annoying things. For me, one of the thing that really drove me nuts was what they had all these food trucks promising all these tempting, delicious, exotic foods, and then they were just overwhelmed like zombies, thousands of gamers like zombies trying to descend upon them. So the one day I did get a food truck sandwich, which was delicious, by the way. It was a faux Asian barbecue sandwich.
Yeah, because I went with you.
Literally 40 minutes to get that, and waiting in line to get that goddamn sandwich. And so that was kind of annoying. Any other... I know, Caleb, it was Aaron and Shane and Greg Stolze.
Greg Stolze, were all waiting in line for that. Although I did get the Bane cosplayer picture out of that, so
you had an upset. So any other
I'm going to give some free advertising to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Okay.
Glancy and I went there.
Okay.
It was crazy expensive for two people.
Yeah.
It was also, we both agreed, the best steak we've ever fucking had in our lives.
All right. Well,
one of those steaks that, every bite we're like, Glancy is going like, holy, like this is unfucking real.
Right.
So yeah.
You're welcome, foodie / RPPR demographic.
So the lines at the food truck. Any other lowlights of the con or anything that you...
I didn't really realize this until I started reading up on it afterward, but crazy racist Nazi propaganda war booth. Did you guys read about that?
I know of the booth, yeah.
Or is it the one that playing all the war movies?
Yeah, apparently they have Nazi propaganda inside, like full-blown, like, Africa Corps, like, all that kind of shit. And then, like, they also have, like, really sexist panties that like they were selling and got like sexual harassment charges. I had no idea. Like I just walked by it every day. I'm like, why are they just blaring all these war movies? And then I saw the Samurai trilogy, which is I've been looking for everywhere. They had a Criterion collection. I'm like, oh my god, because I saw it. It was on the outside of the booth as you were walking by. and it was $95.
Wow.
And I'm like, and then I started looking at all the other DVDs, and they were just like absurdly
50,
overpriced.
50-80% markups.
And so, like, it was absurdly overpriced booth that I would normally just ignore, but apparently sexist Nazis as well. So I didn't.
And they were.
I-
and you're sure they were just trying
That
to.
was
really
after-
ironic.
Yeah, I mean,
or-
I actually bought a movie.
You can't really be ironic with Nazi propaganda.
I
I bought a
really
movie.
can't.
I bought a movie from them 2 years ago. It was the Battleship Yamato movie, the
Yeah.
Japanese one. It was like $49.
Yeah, they have a lot of rare movies, but it's not worth it, and I don't know what militia my money would go to. So,
And that's the other
2
thing
years
about
later,
that.
it's like, you help support these fertilizer bombs with the IRS. Like, we're buying those movies at Gen Con. What do you have to say about it?
And I noticed something weird about that because passing over it for the 4 days, because one of the it's like going near. Then I was passing by for one of the other anime booths I was looking
Yeah.
at. But yeah, almost every day there was the same old guy leaning against the trash can, just staring at whatever movie what was going on. And every time you tried to get around him,
Yeah.
just being politely, he would not move out of your way. Because especially in costume, when I was wandering around, it was a tight fit. I'm like, oh, excuse me, sir, sorry. His eyes were staring straight forward, and if you moved through his vision, his brow furrowed because you were blocking him from his media. It was a little bit off.
like, I didn't go inside, so I can't say much, but I've read a bunch of blog posts and seen a bunch of pictures about it.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, Gen Con,
Yeah.
let somebody else in that.
But
Like, there's better. It's actually, first off, you could put some actual game stuff there
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
a Best Buy
But I also
full
do.
of Nazis.
Yeah, but I also do.
That's like a level of hell something. Because, like, it's not just the Nazis. It's like you have to deal with Best Buy's terrible service. Like,
Also, thankfully,
just- yeah.
thankfully, gamers are becoming aware that feminism is a thing now, and that's becoming something moving in the zeitgeist. And as a result of that, I think you're just asking for trouble with crazy rape Nazi panties on your booth, like, because that's not going to make
I'm
people
just-
come. There were
I'm-
kids there, like.
That's
I would
true.
not take my kids to, like, otherwise I thought it was very family friendly for the most part, with the exception
Well, yeah.
of booth babes. Which
Yeah,
nothing I can do. I think they should
Dude,
stop
I didn't
that.
see that many this year.
I didn't see that many, but I saw a few, and I'm just like, it wasn't. I was like angry at them. They had a job, get your job, but I felt I hate seeing booth babes because it really insults me as a customer.
But there were a lot of kids there having a great time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gen Con,
Some of them really, I mean, tiny.
So maybe don't let the Nazi propaganda end because the kids are having a good time.
And
But,
Gen Con
yeah.
attendance was up to like 49,000, 49,000 up
Yeah.
from 41,000 last year. So like they're just growing like a weed. I definitely get your point. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just stuck on this image of like a Gestapo officer trying to sell me an overpriced monster HDMI.
Or
It's gold plated, you will buy, yeah.
yeah.
Do you want the Geek Squad protection?
It's like,
Show me your papers!
it's like, they will come to your house and they will fix it for you. They will fix everything.
Did you jailbreak your iPhone?
It's like, oh, it's like that is not allowed.
Yeah, so Best Buy full of Nazis.
right.
That's the takeaway of this entire
I
episode.
know. I'm sorry.
Good talking to you guys.
I would say, yeah, in addition to the Nazis, too, just because it goes in the same vein, any of those, it's only a few of the anime booths, but I'm still noticing the
Body pillows?
The body pillow covers,
Yeah.
my God.
They're
And thankfully, I will say this year is the first year I saw it, there was nobody carrying them around. There probably
there were 48,000
happened.
people there. Somebody was carrying them.
Somebody probly was, but
They
I
were.
never saw them, and I thought it was humanity taking a step
Your
in the
home
right
watched
direction.
a lot of peripheral view.
Probably.
Did you guys see? I forgot what it was. It was called Con Bingo.
Yeah.
And one of the things you could put was like
A guy
carrying body pillow and
like it's
trying to
nothing
pretend
at
it's
all.
normal.
Yeah. It's just, I have to buy it here because the shipping charge. Shut up! It's ironic. Shut up!
Ironic.
One low light of the con, not really. It's not the con has no control over. Still annoying as hell. Was the motorcycle rally?
Oh my god.
That was
Clancy summed it up best in his post.
That was the best status update ever. Gen Con Day 3, ellipses. fucking motorcycles. Period. End.
That actually was.
They were literally doing the stuff they parodied in that South Park episode.
Yeah.
Actually, that was another awesome experience I forgot on Saturday when I was doing the costuming. Is that after having lunch with Tad and his brother, I went over.
Oreo Yoma.
Yeah, so
from the
we hung. Yeah, hey Tad, nice. It's like always good to see you.
He has a
Hung
real
up a
name,
lot. Yeah, we're
But it's
keeping that
secret.
private. In any case, I went back to the Hyatt bathroom so I could readjust my costume before walking out again. And just as I got the Buster arm on, this other guy comes in the bathroom, looks at me and says, "Nice day for a ride, huh?" And assuming that in my gear I was going to ride on the motorcycle, I turned with the Buster arm and I said, "Well, it's a little bit different." It's like, and I looked at him. The smile fell from his face. He looked at me and said, "Oh, you're here for that other thing." I had to.
You're just like, yes.
I almost.
It's got a ring.
I had to almost run out of the bathroom because I was starting to laugh.
No, Aaron, he's got a bottle of water. You just tape a little sign that says "Biker's Tears" on it. Oh, I'm drinking your tears. Oh, your tears are delicious.
Oh God, it was great. I had.
And my God, yeah, it was just non-stop that day.
Yeah, well, I mean, fortunately, they're at the Circle, which is a couple blocks away at the convention center. So it's really only when you were in that,
Or looking for somewhere to eat.
yeah, somewhere in that vicinity. So it's not like it's annoying, but there's obviously nothing.
They have their right to assemble. I'm sure
Yeah.
nerds
Oh, yeah, it's
are
not a
annoying
big
as
issue,
shit.
But we're not as noisy.
We tip better,
Yeah.
at least according to the news. There's actually a news story like, "Hey, Gen
Yeah.
Con's coming to town," and
Yeah, so
like,
my
comments for the waitresses saying like, "Yeah, the nerds tip better than the."
My parents were on vacation on the Gulf Coast last year, and they were talking with a couple from Indianapolis. They mentioned, "Oh, well, our son goes to a convention." Like, "Oh, Gen Con. Oh, downtown Indianapolis loves Gen Con. They love it because it's
Puts
like
a lot of
it's
money
like
in it.
tens of thousands of people that are mostly well mannered
No.
and buy things."
Yeah. So
Take that, bikers.
Yeah, take that, bikers. Any other lowlights? I think mostly it's a very positive. Like this was first con. Like I felt that I was at sort of
Optimal-
peak efficiency.
optimal efficiency.
Like normally in the previous years, especially earlier on, I would there were a lot of dead time. Like I didn't know what to do and I didn't have anything productive. In this case, I felt like I was always doing something or like recovering from the last thing I did, like walking back and forth with a bag full of books or getting something to eat. So yeah, it was really. Very good for me. So you guys, any other particular things related to Gen Con stuff? All right, so let's talk about the RPPR meetup because that was ridiculously fun.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, they get better every year.
Yeah, I think we're getting. Yeah, our fans are awesome. Everyone who showed up, thank you for showing up. That was
You were all awesome.
Yeah.
Every
it
last
was a lot of fun meeting, getting to talk to you guys.
Playing Cards Against Humanity.
Well, we played.
What's the game like?
Channel
It's
A.
Channel A, so
We play Channel A.
Before that, we played Do You Worship Cthulhu? That was the first.
Do you worship Cthulhu?
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
that was fun. That was a good thing because that could be played with a large group.
Yeah.
And I went on. It took you guys a while to find the cultist. Like you made some bad choices. Like let's kill that guy.
Oh, I love.
I thought my theory of cultists all wear hats
Yeah.
was
it-
sound.
Yeah,
Empirical evidence disproved that. So
and I love the theory that came up. It's like, because I wore a little bit of a suit and vest when I was there
Yeah.
at the meetup, and immediately went like, "Oh, kill the best dressed guy."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, look, you killed the richest guy
It's
in
like-
town. Fuck you."
it's like the Frank Miller version of what was the movie with Mr. Potter in it? Christmas or
this.
It's a wonderful
Reference.
life.
it's a better
It's a beautiful.
It's a
life.
wonderful life.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a
Reference whiff.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, but like I could just imagine a ripped-out version of them kicking down the door, killing Mr. Potter. And that's kind of what happened to Aaron's character.
Hey, guess what?
So,
Jimmy Stewart was actually the cultist.
So yeah,
But the Channel A game was bananas.
Channel A again. We do have an actual play of it up, linked on one of our previous episodes.
By the way,
we're going to stand it up.
Creamy wins.
Yeah, Creamy Police. You literally got the same Creamy Police twice in 2 different rounds. Like,
Please.
there
It was
was that-
Creamy something police.
It was Creamy Police. I remember that. But then there's somebody else who got Noodle Fist came up twice.
Yeah.
Noodle fist. That
It's
was
Noodle Fist.
Well, I don't think you guys ever played that with that many people.
No, it took a lot longer to
Yeah.
go through it.
but it was great.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun.
And Tad's brother really got into it.
yeah, no,
Yeah, so-
we
That's like someone I want to role play with.
yeah. I'm sure we can arrange that over Skype at some point.
Yeah,
Or one of us can pay money to have him come here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, that will be you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
Why? Just because I suggested
and no
it?
offense,
Yes.
we're going to bring Tad into this
that's
as well
kinda-
because they kind of come as a pair. So
Okay. Again, not me paying the money.
Yeah, that's
I love
true.
the
So if I do that, do I get a special prize?
Sure.
my appreciation.
There, that's special.
Give me another shot.
Finn, my appreciation.
He's tough bargain.
All right. Well, as long as it's you and Aaron, do something nice for me.
So so now I guess we can get into the anecdotes of specific games because there were a lot of games aside from the card games. We did play Cards Against Humanity at our hotel room with Thad and Vicky. Or Thad, and that was a lot of fun because again, it's a very dark.
Turns out Thad was the worst monster.
That was the wish monster. That was the thing I like about it. Like I dominated early on. I got some good cards, and it was oh god, Ross the monster. But then that I like stopped getting good cards, and Thad was boom.
Thad won by 1 card.
Yeah, he got 10 points. I got 9. You got 9 too. You're just as monstrous as I.
Well, I've been.
Yeah.
the real
Ross.
winners are Caleb and Aaron.
that was
Ross,
trailing with
Ross,
4.
we're
I think,
married.
so.
Of course, we're gonna
Yes,
have.
of course. In terms of games, first I think we should talk about the Glancy game because we were all playing in that. I know we mentioned a little bit about it, but I think my single favorite part was your double bluff because we're playing basically
My fast talk skill of 25.
Yeah, and it worked. Like the thing is, we were playing Americans trying to get ammo to the Ukrainians. Like, so we had to go from Vladivostok to in the middle of fucking Russia, and so it's a long ass train trip. And there are all these dirty, corrupt warlords who are going to try and rob us. So we get stopped by a warlord, and he's drunk, and so you have a thin chance to lie your ass
I
off.
was the translator. I think the first thing I said
You were the one who could speak Russian.
was that we were bringing guns to the front, and so that we really weren't bringing guns to him,
Yeah.
but we were bringing guns to, but I lied, said we were bringing guns to somebody down the line, and
Yeah.
he didn't believe that. He's like, well, the front's right here, we need to take the guns. And so it was just kind of over, and I'm like, well, can I double down? And Glancy's like, what? I'm like, well, the second train is for you. And then I rolled like a 23 out of 25, and Glancy's just like, God damn it. Which brings me to my other point. For you power gamers out there
Yeah.
who just want to make the most effective character, fucking lie. Dump everything and lie. It's more powerful than any gun ever made. Like, just lie. You can get other people to fight for you. You can just learn the lesson of politicians everywhere. Just lie your way out of every problem.
I think Aaron had a great moment too
Yeah.
when he was talking to the Japanese officer.
Oh, that actually was probably my favorite of it.
So yeah,
Tell us the
yeah,
story.
well, there's Imperial Japanese officers in the
Yes.
city we stop at.
Yeah, because during this time we're supposed to be all allies, but of course each side is
1919,
yes, each side right now is kind of vying still for territory or for resources. And at the stop at the beginning of the game, or where we started at, a group of Japanese officers came over, and one of them pulled the flag off of our train and threw it down. And by divine providence, I managed to actually grab the lieutenant, so I was in charge.
Yeah.
we randomly drew characters.
I will say this. I jokingly said meat. That's like hello meat shields, and Glancy was looking at me going like, oh shit, this is not going to be bad.
Officer attitude.
So, but no, I was a good lieutenant. I did not expect anything poor out of my men. Anyway, I go up and it's Japanese officers, and my character is the only one who speaks Japanese of the group. And wanting to interject a little bit of realism to it, I walk up and immediately say to this officer, "Ohayou gozaimasu, nanji desu ka?" And immediately, Glancy goes, no, we're not having any of that. What, realism? No, we were pretending to speak Japanese. If you have any of that, if you have any actual knowledge of it, that's not coming into here, okay?
Enough of
This is
that moon talk.
make-believe.
Enough of that moon talk.
Well, he can spend all of his time researching like every blade of grass in Manchuria, or he can spend his time learning like 4 languages to run a game. So
Yeah. Russian, Japanese,
Yeah, which is...
he's got a finite amount of processing power.
Yeah, I do love the fact
even
that
though it's
anytime-
more than me.
for the rest of the game, anytime one of us did bring up another language, it was suddenly no, not accepting that.
Yeah, I don't think any of us. Yeah, so I liked also that what your character did. Like, oh, we're out of the I'm going to go out at night to investigate the weird thing by myself, which actually, Caleb's putting his head on the table, but I thought was very officerly, lead by example. And
Exactly.
fortunately, your character did not meet a horrible death at that point. So
No, but I was.
I like it. I won't get into too
Yeah,
specific.
I played the marksman and actually didn't get to do much marksmaning.
Well, yeah, there was not a lot of rolling on this campaign because we were literally on rails. Like you can't, we were literally railroaded in the scenario. Like that's just the structure of it because we're on a train. But you did get to shoot some guys, or you did get to shoot. Yeah.
No, I don't believe I did.
Yeah, you shot a weapon out of a dude's head because you.
And I scored a total crit on that.
Yeah.
And I will say there is also Terry and the grenade run.
Oh my god.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the other player in there is like Glancy in that Terry from Dagan Industries, and he is quite the expert when it comes to military matters. We'll leave it at that. I don't want to spoil it because we will have the actual play up. That reminds me, Glancy is going to be doing a Horrors of War Kickstarter. The scenarios are
Which
actually
we
going to be
playtested almost all the scenarios
We've
for.
playtested quite a few. Well, there's like 8 of them, and I don't know if we playtested all of them, but
Most of them.
some of them, because they're breaking up into 2 books. Like the first book's 200,000 words, and they're going to do a Kickstarter for it. But they're going to try and get it out by next year, August 14th,
Which is the anniversary of the start of World War One. The Guns of August.
So there won't be any stretch goals for this because he just wants to get the fucking book out because it's done. It's just pay for art and printing and all that shit. So hooray for that! And I actually shot the video for that Kickstarter. I gave it to him. So keep an eye out on that. At some point in the next couple months. He's at Necronomicon right now as we're recording this, so he's not going to get it up immediately.
I've stayed in that hotel, by the way. It's fucking awesome.
Very good. And then, so
Aaron did
speaking of Glancy, I ran. Delta Green Kickstarter will be coming up in the next couple of months.
Oh yeah.
There's a
I
panel.
want it so bad.
I recorded the panel. There was some background noise from the projector, but I did send that to Shane, so that should be up on the Unspeakable Oath at some point, or the Unspeakable podcast. But the main point is the Delta Green's got new rules. They've got they've updated the setting,
The time frame,
and there's unofficial and official Delta Greens now, and it's going to be great. So I ran Delta Green this year at Gen Con for 6 players, 3 of which who were RPPR listeners, and I can only remember the name Kevin from Canada. Thank you for showing up, and the other 2 guys, thank you for showing up, being great players. And I ran basically Operation Eyes Down, which is on the actual play podcast. All you guys played in it, I believe. And originally that had the traitor in it, the friendly who turned out to be a cultist, which Kayla played. I didn't do that I changed it so there's just 6 Delta Green agents. And the Delta Green friendly was an NPC, so he was still a traitor cultist, but he was an NPC. And so I give them a green box. I actually came up with a new rule for the green boxes, inspired by Knight's Black Agent. I basically said that Delta Green box had a preparedness of 65%. Every time you made a check to see if something was there, it went down. So it's depreciating resource, but for whatever equipment they wanted, they go to the green box and see if they wanted. So they spend first half hour looking around the green box. I describe some things. Some players see something weird and immediately like, oh, I keep looking at it. And yeah, all right.
I'm gonna lick it.
Yeah. So like making sand checks before
things are not
they even
real
start the
until you lick
adventure. And I just make up on the spot a subplot about him being contacted by the Fate from Delta Green, which didn't come into play because I forgot about it because there were too many moving parts in that scenario with 6 players in it. But it was a lot of fun. So they're already making sand checks right out the gate. And so their basic mission is go to this abandoned town, find out what this company is doing. They're supposed to be doing super fun toxic waste cleanup of this town that used to be a lead mining town. But they're digging up something. What are they digging up? And so the friendly's supposed to lead them and knows the area really well. So the players have the number of a burner that the friendly has, so they can contact him, tell him where and when they want to meet him, however they want. There's a challenge and authenticate response, so they know it's the right guy. And so what do they choose to do? Oh, we'll just have them meet him at the football field of the small town we're going to investigate. It's a small town, like it's not very large. And then I know this is a terrible idea, but I'm like, all right, yeah. When do you want to meet him? How about 10 in the morning? We'll just meet him in the morning. And you can walk us through. Like the company's in there. That's the people they're supposed to find out. So like, all right, fine. They go in. They decide to not drive in. They decide to sneak in on foot, fortunately. Sniper sees a guard and then radios the other players. The players are like, oh, well, that's weird. Let's sneak into the football field. And they do this, and then the guards, they see a guy. He's wearing the company uniform, BioDrive Solutions. Maybe that's our informant. And so let's go up and talk to him. And so they go, hey, what's up? I like to go on the beach. And the guy's supposed to say, yes, I collect driftwood on the beach because his code name was Driftwood. The guy says, yeah, hey, do you want to talk to my manager? Come on, let's go to the company office over here. And he reaches for his radio. So he's like, oh shit, that's not the informant. Let's just shoot him with our unsilenced firearms.
Player characters.
And so they shoot him. He starts running away because they don't get a kill shot on him because they're just equipped with pistols. And he starts running away. The informant fortunately saves the day because he has a crossbow and shoots him in the head. And the informant's like, hey, it gives him the right channels. What are you guys doing?
We're player characters.
The guards, strangely,
I am in a covert organization.
so the guards start coming in. So there's just a 2-hour gunfight between the other 4 guards and the player characters, and they wind up. Several player characters are severely wounded. No one's killed. They kill the guards, and then they're like, shit, what do we do now? Let's just go in the office, grab what we can, and leave. No, let's go now. So they go into the offices, which are these trailers, and then bad things start, even worse things start happening. The informant disappears. He decides, fuck it, I'll just start killing player characters, and everyone gets away because they literally just grab a few things and hotwire a truck and just drive off. Like, they're in, the entire scenario takes place in 15 minutes. But one player says, oh, there's a cargo container full of artifacts they've been digging up. I'm going to go in and look around. Oh, there's a tripwire claymore? I'll just step over it. It'll be fine. And so he gets left behind. And so that's the scenario. I just love the idea, though, that the player characters basically were totally no, we'll do it.
Secret organization? No.
Yeah. Operational security? Meet him in a secure area? Nah, it'll be fine. Not even meet him at the Waffle House down the fucking road. Let's do it in the place we're supposed to investigate. So anyways, I had a great time with the 6 players who were there. Thank you for showing up. You're a great group. Some great role playing. Not the best tactical sense, but it was a lot of fun. Caleb, you ran Better Angels, and your players had a similar tactical acumen.
Well, I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
It had a funny side effect. So they actually had some pretty good plans. But there's a power in Better Angels called Darkness Shrouded, which you have to ask your demon to turn on, but she had a very nice demon, so it kept on turning on.
Yeah.
She was a tennis-themed supervillain. And there were other themed supervillains. There was a gigantic monster man. There was a guy who shot lasers out of his eyes. There was Dr. Pimp, who was a, hyper eloquent pimp.
Everyone's facepalming.
And so they would do super villainous things, and without going too far in the plot,
Yeah.
they would do super villainous things, but she would always turn on Darkness Shrouded, which is this, sentient swirling cloud of darkness that hides you, and it gives everyone who's inside of it a big bonus to not being hit with bullets and stuff. So they're doing all these super villainous things and calling the police and the news vans to make all these demands and things like this, and then they realize by the end of the scenario that the police think it's just a cloud of darkness that can shoot lasers out of it, for some reason throws tennis balls at people because she was a tennis team villain, is hyper eloquent, and occasionally will throw a car or a park bench from it. It's just this.
And beautiful, right?
One of them had impossible beauty. So it's this beautiful swirling cloud of darkness that would extend a pimp hat for money and was shooting lasers and throwing things and was really eloquent.
Do you realize that they actually created a variant of the glowing cloud?
No, yeah, it was weird fiction stuff. And by the end of it, I think they were kind of feeling their way through the system. But by the time I mentioned the fact that they weren't 4 supervillains, they'd convinced everyone they were a single cloud of weird powers. They were really getting into it and emphasizing the cloud. Like the Impossibly Beautiful one they fought a SWAT team at the end, and he was like whispering to the to the members of the SWAT team out of the cloud because he didn't have any combat power. He's just like, "You're gonna die." And like the cloud's like shooting lasers, and the strong guy's like reaching and dragging people into the cloud, and the tennis person's just throwing tennis balls as the SWAT guys are just like opening up on it. It was pretty funny.
That actually is pretty brilliant.
First time I've seen that happen in Better Angels games.
You've seen everything that happens in Better Angels the first time. Like, there's no repeat so far.
Yeah, it's pretty.
In the play kit.
It's pretty effing bizarre.
Yeah.
But I love it.
It is a great system. I think, yeah, wow. There was one other game I ran, which was Dirty World. And speaking of RPG schizophrenia, as we were mixing and mashing everything, I played just a scenario called Dr. Nova's Going Away Party. It's set in the world of Eclipse Phase on Mars, but using Dirty World mechanics. And originally, the playtest that I've recorded for the RPPR group was kind of an homage to Willy Wonka.
It was Willy Wonka.
Yeah, it was.
So it was a Dirty World of Eclipse Phase with Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I did change. I did tone down the Willy Wonka part of it,
and we need to adjust Ross's meds.
Yeah, apparently. But it worked really well. I had 4 player testers showed up. I was doing it on Thursday morning at 9 in the morning, so I think some of the players just weren't awake or couldn't get their badge because, holy shit. There was a line for will call, like especially Thursday morning. But the players went through it, and I made it just like PvP. Like the players are just arguing and trading jabs at each other, and the players had a lot of fun. And so there's no one really standout moment because at 9 in the morning kind of all blurs together in my head. But everyone had fun. I changed the background of the characters for it so that they were. I changed the secrets. I based them on your player characters, but like they were more. The secrets were more in line with the system. Everybody had leverage over everyone else. Okay. Everybody had a 3-point secret because that's
nice.
Yeah. Because again, you're all rich evil people. Well, rich decadent people. So it worked out. And then the anarchist spy who had killed the media celebrity and was impersonating her won and took over the arc ship for the anarchists. So that was how that wound up.
So it becomes like the new flagships for the R-Stars, our destination.
Something like that. I don't know if they're going off to the new solar system on their own or not. It's just kind of a thing. So I think, yeah. Any lessons learned about going to Gen Con? I know that for me. One thing is just prioritizing, realizing if you don't have it in schedule, if you know you're not going to, if there's things you know you want to do that you have to do, or that you're just going to do them, you're not going to do anything else. You're just not going to have time or energy to do anything other than the must-haves.
Yeah.
Like for me, it seemed like although there were some things I got incidentally. Like I managed to get Sandy Peterson, the guy who created Call of Cthulhu. I had him sign my copy of Call of Cthulhu, and I got an update about his Cthulhu Wars Kickstarter project, which is a big board and mini game.
Those figurines are so awesome looking.
Yes, Tom and I backed that, and that was
like they look cool in the Kickstarter, but when you actually see
Cthulhu's ripped. Like he has a 6-pack of abs in that, like, and he is like looking pretty boss.
They're just really hyper detailed, and also like scary. Like they're really something around is gross looking.
Yeah, so I got a brief update about the status of the Kickstarter that's on the YouTube. We got some more video. I know Aaron shot some cosplayers.
Yeah, I do have a little bit of footage that came from that, and I do
video,
and pictures. So hopefully I'll be able to compile that into something of a slideshow that I'm going to try to put with the Skype.
Well, what about the video that you shot? Because I know you shot some.
Yeah, I shot just a little bit on there. I didn't get a lot of it just because it was, unfortunately, I will say it was just a lot of bad angles. I didn't really get a lot. So
I've seen movies shot like that. So
well, just trying to get it. I tried to get one of, I think, of the Ghostbuster, the steampunk Ghostbuster group, but of course it was trying to get around everybody. So,
one thing I want to mention, I did shoot a 2-hour workshop of Shadowrun's Returns, their level editor, like a 101 how to use this. And I shot both the live action video of it and I got them to record it onto Camtasia, which is a screencasting software. And I got the demo of it so I can export it into Premiere and edit it. And so I'll be making a 2-hour video of how to run Shadowrun Return, or how to mess around with the level editor in that, which is really cool. And so look forward to that. And Yeah, if you want to edit the video and put it up on RPPR, I can. If you don't want me to.
Oh, no, I can edit it. Yeah, if you just export it to me. So
Okay.
Or,
Yeah, I can do that.
But yeah, it shouldn't be that much.
And
just
then
on top.
yeah. Any
Okay.
other lessons learned, Tom, for Gen Con?
Go with the Hilton, Indianapolis. The rooms are actually spacious enough to.
Yeah, the Hilton was really good.
And they have enough elevators.
Yeah.
They have an overabundance of elevators. Which is
No,
great.
they have just enough elevators.
And they're fast.
2 with 1 broken for a 19-floor building is not enough.
You're talking about the Hyatt?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that was it's a 23-story building with 4 elevators.
Okay.
And 1 was broken down.
And also,
Okay,
we
I'm
didn't have
sorry.
to pay for the Wi-Fi.
It
so.
sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi was free too.
Yeah. I actually didn't even use the Wi-Fi because I stayed home, so I had plenty of
Yeah, and
4G on my phone. It's like, I'm just checking
and
email.
also unlike the Hyatt, the breakfast, we actually got breakfast vouchers.
Yeah.
You have to pay for all breakfasts.
So yeah, any lessons learned?
Yeah, but again,
Research your hotels first of all.
yeah, definitely try to plan out your activities, especially if unknown issues come up, particularly like my badge thing, which thankfully again was resolved. Thank you, Gen Con LLC.
I mean,
But-
for me, like, have ideas for like backups if something falls through. But like for me, like the main thing, I got everything that I knew I absolutely wanted, and I did get a couple things. Like Caleb told me about that history workshop, history and gaming with Kenneth Hyde, Keith Baker, a couple other game designers. So I recorded. So there were some. So I did get some incidental stuff that I didn't plan for, but like. You're not going to get a lot of it. You're not going to get a lot of that incidental stuff.
Yeah, because you're just have to space it down from there. I will say, at least again on the cosplaying one from now experience, cooling is the issue, especially if you're having on layers.
Yeah.
For your costume. So for future reference, figure out a way to cool yourself
Well,
down.
David suggested slipping in some like ice packs. In
Which
your,
that's
under the coat.
that's a possible ability on there. Although it does kind of bring up the problem if you have something that's
Weight.
kind of weight or it's
Yeah.
skin tight to you, you don't want to have bulges coming out.
Bring your own food.
Bring your, we almost brought too much. Yeah, bring snacks, at least something, especially if you're doing something in the morning, you don't have time to get breakfast, bring some granola bars or something so you don't, like, take care of yourself while you're going to this, because it's a lot of your...
You'll actually be burning some calories.
You'll be burning calories. Well, you want to keep don't want to be, like, totally just burn out because your immune system will get weak, and then there's thousands of people you're around that who knows what you could, you don't want to catch con crud or whatever it's called.
Which brings up the other big thing, and I know this is almost you shouldn't even have to say this, but we do it on a regular basis. Please bathe on a regular basis while you're at Gen Con.
Bring a new change of clothes for every day of the con.
Exactly.
I actually brought 2 extra, just in case.
Yeah, bring extra too, like, because you never know if you're like you spill food on yourself or something. But
just because.
Bring clean clothes for every day because you're not going to get it
Hydrate.
washed. Yeah, hydrate. Caleb, any other lessons you learned from this con?
Oh man, I don't know. It was fun.
Yeah, it was
Go if
fun.
you can.
Yeah, go if you can.
It's that's it.
I
I enjoyed it. I don't feel like I made like any Gen Con mistakes
Yeah.
to learn from.
All right,
So,
fair
yeah.
enough. Nothing you'd change. You'd kind of take follow.
No, I thought it went really well.
Okay. Anything else to mention about Gen Con?
Indian food in Indianapolis is really good.
Yeah, Indian food. Yeah, it is good. Caleb and I went to, you were.
I was there too.
Yeah, you were there too. For the India Garden. Yeah, India Garden's a little ways out, and it's really delicious.
And I love that group we were with, just the conversation going around the table. For a lot of it, I just kept my mouth shut and just listened.
Yeah, Kenneth Hite and Robin Laws know more than you about everything. They are
Yeah. There's that one,
philosopher kings of the game.
there's one guy from London who was like, I'm getting shit from him I've never heard.
Oh yeah, Adam Crossingham, I believe. He did a lot of the Delta Green Vietnam.
And every once in a while, I could actually throw something in that was relevant.
Yeah.
And it felt so good.
Yeah. I'm contributing. I'm part of this. Anyways, even though
Can I hang out with you guys?
Well, you have to go to a large city, Tom, Chicago or London or something. So
Yeah, I'd have to travel like I'm doing.
yeah. All right. Fair enough. So that
And also, no matter how delicious it might seem, don't go to White Castle. I think we made that decision, and it was the right one.
Yeah, Don't take. Be aware of what food you're eating if you're going to be in an enclosed space with a lot of people or your friends for a long period of time. I think.
Otherwise, you're going to be playing diplomacy from your butt and getting rid of friends.
And no one wins. It's not diplomacy. It's mutually assured destruction. Like that's all there is. I think. How can we end? We have to end there. Like, that's
Oh yeah, Gen Con lessons. Bye.
all right. See ya. I think see you guys next time. It's RPPR.
go to a con, get my geeky freak on. I like the parties, but I don't like the bathtub beer. If there's a fan, I'll chat, cause I can handle that. I like to panel, but I don't like to volunteer. Like science fiction and magic, stories comic and tragic. Don't like the slash fic, but I do like the cyberpunk. I'm always happy I came, but I forget your name. And I like the game, but I don't like the gamer funk. Hey, you know what I'm talking about. I love the people who think, but hey, Professor Frink, you kinda stink and I'm a bit overpowered. It's cool you're good at math, you're not as good at bath. Are you a sociopath? Just take a shower. Yeah, that's the game room in there, in desperate need of some air. Bring in some fans, but it's the fans who are sour. They're playing ogres and trolls, but they're too into their roles. They're eating holes in the wall with the gamer funk. Oh, more cowbell. I got a fever. The only prescription is Febreze. Your olfactory air's unsatisfactory there, cause I can smell you and I just gotta tell you, hygiene products are not going to hurt you. Burt's Bees is a brand name. It contains no actual bees. Tiger Balm is not a bomb. Lava soap is not lava. Stop pretending it is. One time I left a hunk of pumpkin pie in my trunk. It really stunk, but it was not like the gamer funk. With all that time you sunk into your level 10 monk, you could have taken a damp cloth to your junk. It's like you took a dunk in boiled cabbage and skunk, and my face looks like the Scream by Edvard Munch. One time I gamed with these punks, they smelled so bad I blew chunks. Yeah, I was drunk, but I can still blame the gamer funk.
Aren't you glad you used Dial? Don't you wish Gen Con did?
So while you're playing that elf, take better care of yourself. Think of your health, if not the rules of civility. These are my people in here, but on the final frontier, washing your rear is still your responsibility. Maybe I can't reach a geek who doesn't bathe in a week, and this critique is just weak futility. So if I go to a con that smells like Azerbaijan, well then I'm gone, cause I don't like the gamer funk.
Whoa, it's a little gamey in here.
Don't like the gamer funk.
Who farted?
Who didn't?
I do not like the gamer funk.
Whoa,